Long time no see, honey. Welcome back, beauties. So I'm just gonna let's go ahead and just jump into this look. Yeah, I really, like always, I just want to come on here. I do want to do this cute little fall look for y'all using this Natasha Denona palette. I wanted to play in this Metropolis palette. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Metropolis palette. I wanted to play in this one today, so I wanted to just come on here and do a look with y'all. I kind of want to start with the face first and then do the eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and prime. I really kind of want to focus this look on skin because I'm going to be using the Yummy Skin Foundation by Demeatrice-OZCZWKHI, which I've used before, but I've never used it. Have I used it on here with y'all before? I don't think we have, so we probably have. I don't think we have. Anyway, so I really want to focus this around the do's and don'ts of your makeup application, particularly like your base, the foundation, priming, setting, etc. You know, I like to wear eyeshadow every blue moon. I'm not the girlies on here who don't like to wear eyeshadow no more. I love a good eyeshadow palette, so I just wanted to use that eyeshadow palette for today's look. So I'm gonna go ahead and wet my sponge because I did not do that yet, and then we can get started. Okay, so I went ahead and wet my sponge, but y'all, girl, where's the intro? Okay, welcome back, beauties. D.Beasley here. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Listen, everybody come on in the room, get you some snacks. It's breakfast time around here, so grab a mimosa, okay, in real life. A bagel, you know, some eggs, scrambled eggs, bacon. Get something. Sit on down. Grab your makeup if you want to. Sit on down. Let's have a makeup session, girl, because I got things planned today, or I'm trying to plan my day, because usually I just let my day happen. I may have stuff that I have to do, but like normally on my Sunday, I just let it happen. So today is Sunday, not sure when y'all gonna be watching this. However, I wanted to get on here and do some makeup with y'all. So again, as I stated before, I want to focus mainly on the skin application, the do's and don'ts of your base, aka foundation application. So first off, make sure you have a really good primer. Urban Decay has really good primers. This one I really like. This is the All Nighter Face Primer. I feel like I don't get a chance to wear it as long, so because it's really early, I'll have a chance to wear this all day, even though we may be filming multiple looks, nobody knows. So but I like this one. So I like the Milk Hydro Grip Primer as well. This is more on the higher end of makeup primers. I do also like the e.l.f. Power Grip, which is a cheaper version. It's like $10, but you want to make sure you have a primer. It doesn't really matter what primer it is. So I'm going to get just a pump on my finger, and I like to press it / rub it in all over my face. Now for this makeup look, I'm going to be using two different primers. Sometimes you can double prime. Some primers are for gripping, some primers are for mattifying. You have moisturizing primers. You can use as many primers as you want to, just don't allow it to like develop like a cakey film on your skin, okay? So with that being said, I'm gonna use the Demeatrice-OZCZWKHI as my second primer. This is her Universal Blur Balm powder, and that's what it looks like. I'm just gonna use a little bit of that. I like to put that in the areas where I normally get shiny, oily. I feel like oil's gonna peek through regardless. I get a lot of clients who may ask like, is this transfer proof? Will I be matte all day? There's no guarantee for anything like that because your oils are your oils. You can do what you need to do to make sure that you prep your skin accordingly beforehand. I preferably like to let my primer sit for a little bit, so I jump into eyebrows. Even though we're going to focus on the face today, we're going to go ahead and do our brows to allow that base, or that primer, I'm sorry, to set in. So I am going to use my Benefit. Do I have a number 4? I'm going to use my Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. That's what this looks like. I'm using the shade number 4 and number 5. I like number 4 for the inner portion of our brow, and then I take the number 5 to the tip, or you can just use number 4 all over. And I'm really into the slight brows lately, like the real soft brows. I'm not a soft girl as far as like my foundation, but I really like the soft brow situation. And I just put a little bit of the number 5 on the end. Okay, I went ahead and did my brow, concealed my brows. We're gonna go ahead and jump into foundation. Like I said, we're gonna be using the Yummy Skin by Demeatrice-OZCZWKHI. This is in the shade 18G. I feel like I've used this like one time, but it has like a little squeeze tube situation. You don't need a lot. That's probably too much. And you see how much that is? It's literally probably too much. So we're gonna just pack it all over. It's really full coverage. This foundation is really good for fall, winter, because it's very full. It's very full coverage. Very full coverage, very hydrating. You see the glow? I said, do you see the glow? So in my mind, right, I haven't written anything down as far as today, but in my mind, I want to film 2 makeup looks. I'll let y'all know how that goes. But yeah, y'all know, just make sure you keep an eye on the vlog channel, and baby will know if I was able to pull it off. Very hydrating foundation, and I used everything that was on my hand. I feel like I don't wear it enough, so I need to wear it more. For the foundation, as you can tell, I was like still blending it in. I don't like to rub until I come down to the jawline to blend it into the neck, but all over the face, just make sure you're stippling it in, pressing it in, because I feel like it gives you the best coverage. And myself personally, I like to use a brush for foundation. When I use the sponge applicator, I feel like it absorbs a lot of my product, so I like to use a brush. Next, I like to jump into cream bronzing. Normally I do concealer, but I like the way my foundation looks when I do cream bronzer first and then I conceal. So we're gonna go ahead and do our cream bronzer, then we'll conceal and highlight. So I'm gonna take the shade 420 by Fenty. I'm going to put that on the outer portion of my eye. And I like to put it in the crevices of my cheek. I'm basically going to create dimensions surrounding my face. So I'm going to put it on my forehead, in the perimeter of my hairline, down the center of my cheek here, and my cheekbone, and then on my jawline. So you basically make a 3. You can make a 3 on your face to put it on. And this one is really pigmented, so be careful. I almost forgot how pigmented it is. Then I take the excess on the brush. I don't add any additional, and I take it down from the tip of my brow all the way down the side of my nose. And then you're gonna go in and blend that out. I'm gonna take this particular brush. It's just, I like really dense brushes to blend it out. I sometimes find when I use something super flimsy, it doesn't blend out as good as it should. So, and I just do the same stippling motion back and forth into the crevice of that cheek, and then I push it up once I feel like I blended it out enough. See? And then once you get to the jawline, blend it down. You can swipe back and forth on the jawline. I don't normally like to do that up here because I don't want it disturbing my foundation application. I don't want it, you know, removing anything, swiping it away, or, you know, just disturbing it, to be honest with you. And I like to bring it down on my forehead. Not too far. Like, I got a big forehead, but I don't want it to be too little. I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be like that. I guess you can do, like, I got a forehead, okay? And you want to get it to a 3. Or maybe even a 2. That's the best way I can explain it. And then we'll tap on the side of the nose. We'll actually take our sponge, or you can take like a smaller brush. But I'm gonna go in with the sponge and just blend that out. The nose portion probably won't get too blended out until we do the face. I like to take my foundation brush and just blend, blend, blend. And we're literally blending in between those areas where you may or may not see a line of demarcation. This is not a lot, but it's enough. I feel like it's not like a whole lot, but I feel like it's enough. And I feel like the shade up under 21G is too light. Like, I'm always in between a shade. Like, and I'm not buying 2. Y'all, I buy 2, but I won't buy 2, okay? Not gonna just buy 2 in particular for myself. It's different if I had all the shades in my kit. but we're gonna make it work when we start concealing and highlighting. Do not worry, okay? I'm gonna first go in on the outer portion of our eye with, let me see, I'm gonna take this L'Oreal Infallible in Honey. I really like this concealer. I need to get some for my kid, but I just like to do that on the outer portion of my eye. We're gonna go ahead and put this in our other areas where we normally go, and then we'll put those in the normal area, the other areas as well, but we're gonna go in our inner portion of our face with a lighter shade, tan golden, or I'm sorry, deep golden shade by Jacqueline. The thing with this one, it dries fast. So, and I learned that the other day, it dries really fast. So we're gonna take a little bit of that shade. Then we're gonna take a little bit of the tan golden and put it kind of in the middle. And put that on my nose too, but y'all remind me, I need to blend that out, okay? It's a cool concealer, but same thing with everything else. You're only doing pouncing motions. And when people conceal, the reason why we put it forehead, under eye, nose, bridge of the nose, cupid's bow, we're basically bringing light to the center of our face. That's what we're doing. And when I do it, I do like to blend it out, but I want to stop it right here. And I take the butt of my sponge and I blend out the end like that. I try to get in the crevices of my eye as best as I can, but I fix it later on. So I like a good highlighter under eye. Y'all know that by now. So I'm gonna take my brush my foundation brush, and just blend out those edges again, even in between that nose, that forehead, everywhere. So there's no line of demarcation, okay? And I like to blend until I can't blend no more. Okay, sometimes I go back in if I feel like my bronzer disappearing. Sometimes I go back in with that same brush. But we're gonna set this area with a powder bronzer, so I'm not worried. You know what I'm saying? But you blend. That's the key to a good foundation or a good base. Is blending, because you're blending your concealer with your cream contour with your foundation, like you're blending all of that together. So we're gonna go in with our setting powder. I like to use the Sephora translucent setting powder. I've been loving it for quite a while. I'm gonna show you a different technique that I've been using lately to set it first, and then we can go on top of it if we need to. I like to take like this velvet powder puff that I get from Amazon, and I like to use that to press it into it first. First we go up under with our sponge. We blend everything out with our sponge, and then we're gonna go into our powder, which is here, and just press it into it. I like to press it on the back of my hand too, so it's not like just all powder. And then I press it under my eye. And I look up, and I have my clients look up, because I want to make sure I'm getting in those lines. So if somebody's doing your makeup, there's no reason for you to be doing this on your phone. The shade is real. And I like, look up, look up, look up. They're doing that for a reason. So that when your foundation or your concealer creases, that's probably the reason why. Because you wasn't participating. Now that we have our face set, let's go ahead and set our bronzer. So I'm going to we're taking this NARS Summer Unrated Blush and Bronzer Duo. I actually picked this up from the NARS store when I went to Houston. It's very hard to open. What that looks like, we're gonna use this shade here. I wanna take a brush that I can actually sweep it in the crease with. My other brush is dirty. And I'm pressing that in also. And then we're gonna go in and we're gonna sweep it in. This one is very pigmented. I'm waiting on them to make it in a full size. But and then when I get on my forehead, I like to sweep it down a little bit. well as on my jawline, I like to sweep it up. Okay, that's why I use that Morphe M524 brush, because I feel like it does it for me. I don't have to do that. But the type of brush this is, we're gonna just press it in and then we'll sweep it in with a different kind of brush. And do a little sweeping action. Trying to make sure I get the under eye set good. I'm gonna take that foundation brush to blend out any harsh lines anywhere, because it's not wet. The brush is not wet. That looks good. You see how we balance that, the deepness of the shade to our liking by highlighting and contouring? You can fix it. You definitely can fix it, okay? So lastly, for the face, I'm going to do a little bit of reverse contouring, and then we're going to blush. And then I'm actually gonna go off camera, do my eyes, and I'll come back and we'll just recap everything that we talked about, okay? So I actually wanted to use this blush. I want to stipple it on my cheeks because I haven't set my entire face yet, so it shouldn't hurt anything. I'm just kind of putting that blush right on top of my bronzer, but in my apples of my cheeks. So when you do your blush, smile a little. You want to put it right there on the apples of your cheek. I really should have did that before I set my under eye, but I forgot. And then if you feel like it's too much, go in with the butt of that sponge and just blend it out. I just want a little flush. I always just want a little flush, honey. A little flush ain't never hurt nobody, okay? Let's go ahead and do some reverse contouring, and then we're going to set all over our face. So reverse contouring literally is just carving out your contour line. I'm gonna take this same velour sponge here, and we're going to, you can drag a line like that, and then you can like go in and blend it out, because it can be a little bit harsh. But if you blend it out, you won't have any issues. I literally drag a line. You can drag it all the way to your mouth, you can drag it halfway, but you're just carving out that contour. And if it's too much, if it's too harsh, again, go in with your foundation brush and pat it out. I feel like the key to it is blending, but it's also the way you blend. Some people blend, they do their foundation, they're all over their face, Some people with the sponge, and they're doing the same thing with the sponge. But I like to literally pat it all in. Press it in, pat it in, press, press, press. Okay. Lastly, we're going to set our entire face. This is one of my largest powder brushes almost. I have one from, well, no. No, this is my largest one. So this is my Morphe E41 powder brush, and this is my It Cosmetics Jumbo Powder #3 brush. So this is my largest powder brush. You don't necessarily need this big of a brush to set your entire face. I'm just extra and I like it. So I'm gonna take the L'Oreal Infallible, and I believe this is copper, and I'm gonna use that to set all over my face. And again, I like to press. And get down to my jawline, I blend it down. But everywhere else, and I try to set away from that under eye that we did. I like to just press it in. And because that blush was a cream blush, we are going to have to set it also. I'm gonna take the blush that's in the NARS palette, the NARS bronzer palette that we just used. Y'all, it's hard to open. Ooh. It's a shimmery blush, but we're gonna just take a little bit. I just need to set that area. And I always get maybe a little bit of a harsh line right there. I just take my sponge and blend it out. That's why it's always to go in with a lighter hand, little product. That way you can build it up. Because if you go in with a heavy hand, a lot of product, it's hard for you to take away from that. So always, 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 always go in with a light hand. And I like to set my nose and let it set. My nose is like the only thing I like to bake. So I take that powder puff and just press it in the middle of my nose. And I let that set for a little bit. That's like the only powder that I allow to set on my face. Everything else, baby, is getting pressed in, blended out, and shut down. Okay. So I'm going to actually go ahead and do my eyes off camera. So I'll come back and show y'all the finished look. Okay, beauty. So here is the finished look. How we liking it? The lip. I'm sorry, I just got to eat on something. I was hungry. But I did use the Metropolis palette by Natasha Denona on my eyes. I really like the way it came out because it has these really deep, rich greens in there. Love it. But to recap, we did our face. One thing I need everyone to remember when doing your makeup application, you want to make sure you're taking your time, you're blending. You're starting with less product, building it up as necessary, you know, to get the coverage that you want. But you always want to start out little with less and build up. Just basically take your time. I learned to do my makeup by doing my makeup when I didn't have anywhere to go. That's the best thing to do. Like when you're sitting at home, when I was like trying to not even build my YouTube page because I'm still trying to do that, but just literally like the way I used to always like do makeup look after makeup look. The more time you have like just to sit there and play with it, and if you love it, you're gonna enjoy every moment of it. Just take your time and you'll get it. So I hope y'all enjoyed some of the tips that I gave you on creating a flawless base. I want to say the next thing we're going to work on is eyes, maybe brows, because I want to have a brow boot camp. We need a brow boot camp. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you have any additional questions, please leave them down below. And until next time, I'll see y'all later. Bye, beauties.